All right, let's go and get started here. We're back again. And we are actually really close to finishing up some of the motion on Grammy here. We'll probably do it like that. Maybe something like that. All right. So, once this is done, we're going to be going on to doing probably his hair first, because his hair is going to be really easy. Then his ears are going to be a little bit more complicated because the ears are actually like, they're going to move on their own, so I want to be like thinking about those, how those move. But yeah, so it took me 50 hours to do the animation for Wicker. It has more or less taken me... probably will take me about 10 hours to do Ren, which by and large isn't bad, honestly. Still a bit, but it's not terrible. Tended to leave it like that and then draw the little things over it. That's fine. And this arm is going to stay down. So there's something in animation that you want to you typically want to avoid, called twinning. And basically twinning is where, like, if you have a character with two arms, like, you know, people have, you don't want the arms to necessarily be copying one another. It can look a little awkward. It can kind of stifle the action. Sometimes it makes sense. Sometimes it's kind of put there for emphasis, like a character is like emphasizing with their hands in action, so you kind of copy it. But in most cases, it's good to kind of break up and make it a little bit more asymmetrical. Because that just makes it a bit more interesting. And it's also kind of relevant because, like, it tends to be the case where, like, the natural inclination is to kind of twin, is to make the arms move at the same time. I actually do technically think it's a bit more natural. I would argue that we naturally tend to kind of move our arms the same. Oh, shoot. I just completely misread your comment there, King Bob. I was making a joke and it doesn't make any sense now. Dang it. Hold on a second. Thought you said you were stopping by and weren't gonna say hi. That's it, we're just gonna. That doesn't make any sense. Let's see here. All right. Let's see. Hopefully this won't take too long. I'm trying to think how many. I do have quite a few friends. I would love to get this done, all that action, but we'll see about that. Some of the frames have been going slower. Is that where I want the neck? I kind of want the neck a bit more forward. All right, let's see what we can do with this. Up there. Okay, so his eyes are closed. Okay, you know what? We're not going to do the little divot there because I'm trying to keep the character simple. I don't need like little like cloth folds and crap like that to complicate things. I don't want to have to keep track of that. I want to keep this simple. tempted to curl this a bit more. One thing I want to try to do with the design is what was it? Bring the arms in. Like, instead of doing like this for the arms, have it more like this, where it's kind of like a bow tie kind of design. This would be, I want to try that a bit more. See if it gives a bit more shape. For this, it doesn't really matter all that much, but in the future, for future parts of this design. Just connect that like that. Sure, why not? Okay, so he's down here and he says this stuff is amazing. So he's probably like on the like probably on like the M of amazing here. It doesn't really matter because I'm not actually synchronizing it to audio. this hand is fully open. Actually, you know what? We're gonna keep the geometry simple. It's a rectangle. His hands are rectangle. Make it a rectangle. His thumb is like that. Yeah, it's on the inside. Or maybe it's actually more like that. And his fingers are back. Hello, lively star. Good to see you. I appreciate you saying hi. More like this. Hello, time animation. And this hand is still yeah, we're gonna see if that works. I need to figure out. Hello, Dite. I'm actually very tempted to like really stretch this arm more. Just right now, let's see how that does. Stealing Nick. No one can tame the Nick. He deserves to be a wild and free spirit. Get yourself a wild Nick. What is he, a Pokemon? Would you find him in some tall grass somewhere? Is the airport but close enough? Airports are kind of like tall grass. You never know who you're going to run into. May. There we go. What am I drawing? I'm drawing a Grem. Yeah, Grem and you, good Grem. And he's sitting in a box. It's full of packing peanuts. Hold on, I can actually play this whole thing out. So I've been working on this little sequence here, and I finished up Wicker. And now I'm working on Graham popping out of the box, looking around all shifty-eyed. And he's gonna throw packing peanuts into the air because he's all excited because he has packing peanuts. All right, so, and he's saying this stuff is amazing. Of course, most of it you don't see. There will be subtitles, so it'll be okay, because I'm not a voice actor. But right here, so May. He has like his teeth. Tempted to give him like one long tooth, but then that just like complicates his design, and I don't think that that's really how it works. He always has like a little like snaggle tooth kind of coming out of his mouth, but I don't think it's because it's longer. I think it's just because like his mouth's kind of goofy, doesn't know how to fit all of its teeth. I really need to come up with like how many teeth he has in his mouth. I'm not really sure how many. I don't want that many though. That's a few too many teeth. Let's try like kind of simplifying the mouth a bit. Cause I like when you say a may, like when you the A phoneme, right? We're doing phonemes. You do kind of reveal your teeth a little bit more. For the most, like most phonemes don't really like show the teeth, but A, like especially a really like pronounced A, kind of does. So. The things you have to think about when you're an animator is really funny. It's like, oh yes, how does the mouth move? How does the tongue move? Eyebrows. Right there. The other thing to kind of keep in mind in regards to phonemes is it's very, very easy to over-animate them. Because you think you have to do like every little sound or whatever, right? Because if you break down phonemes, they're very like intricate, right? There's a lot to every word for the most part, more than you think. But of course, when we actually speak it, we're blending the phonemes, so we're actually really efficient with how we use the shape of our mouth to produce the sound of a word. The truth is, that's kind of where accents come from. That's where like specific dialect and pronunciation comes from. Is how do you is kind of the shortcuts of of the photos that we use. This eyebrow is a little big, actually. I'm gonna shrink that down. Come on. At the very least, I do like having his sleeves be like bunched up towards the end like this, because it makes it look like the sweater is too big for him, which it is. Because it's already kind of big on Addie, who actually owns the sweater, and Grim's even shorter than she is. So it makes it look like the sleeve is kind of bunched up at the end because it's too long. I don't like how far that's better. Hey yo, what's up, Guilty Gear? Oh. Ah. I'm trying to remember if this song is demonetized. Not that I'm monetized, but it gets blocked. I don't remember. We'll just go into the next one. I'm not in a songs with words kind of mood anymore. I might actually hold on. Let's rethink this. Let's redo this. I actually kind of want the hand to be more in line with the arm. So we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this. Is that how big his hand is? He has big hands here. Maybe not that big though. What do I want to do? Not quite. Mix this over here. Put this switch over there. Part of me wants to extend it. So let's do that. Make him look like a weevil? Like a weevil? Hold on. Oh. Weevile. See, I thought you were talking about. Dang it! I thought you were talking about this little guy. I thought you were like, "Yo, you looking kind of weevil." You got them weevil claws. But no. No, yeah, a weevile Weavile is oops, not gonna. This guy, yeah, I can kind of see it. He do be gotten the big claws, not the bug. No. We out here having real Weevil hours. All right. Man, it's so funny. I know maybe a 10th of the Pokemon that exist now. There's like what? There's over 1,000 now, aren't there? It's crazy, man. First thing you got was the bug. Yeah. I looked at it. I thought that that's how you spelled Weevil. So when I typed it in and saw it was a Pokemon, I was like, oh, that makes more sense. There's definitely over 1,000. Yeah, no, there's... Oh my gosh, there's so many of them. Okay. I mean, chances are, like, I feel like there's a Pokemon for everything. Like, every conceivable, like, construct can be related to a Pokemon. I mean, for goodness sakes, you have Porygon. Literal just shapes. Okay. That's the wrong one. Okay. What up, Jordan? I'm doing the all right. We're getting close to finishing this, so that makes me happy. Is a lawnmower, dishwasher, microwave. It's a heck of an evolution right there. I mean, microwaves are the superior appliance. So they really did the research there. Okay, and yeah, he'll open his eyes like right, like starting here, and then okay, so maze, and then he brings his mouth down to Z for zing, and then he'll pull his lips out, and then that'll be it. That's all. Amazing. Actually, he probably will just relax his mouth, because amazing, you kind of do. At least I do. You know, I do wonder, like, because people can read lips, right? It makes me wonder if it's possible, like, if someone who can read lips, or maybe even has to read lips, watches a movie, like an animated movie, if it's more of a challenge or less of a challenge to understand what's being said. I mean, yeah, but like friggin' bananas have radiation. Like, we're constantly absorbing radiation. Radiation is everywhere. It just is a thing. That actually, man, that reminds me of that time. There's a guy I watch every now and again called Styro Pyro. And by every now and again, I mean just like every single video uploads, because he's amazing. But he made a so a typical microwave is 2,000 watts, I think. Is that it? Or 2,000 volts? One second, I gotta look it up. Typical power yield of a microwave. 600,000 watts. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's about 1,000 watts of power for a microwave, right? So he decides that's not enough. We need to make a microwave with 20 times the power yield, which means 20,000 watts. So he hooks a microwave up to 20,000 watts of energy. Starts really cooking things, like flash boiling water. What's up, shrimp guy? Good to see you. How we learn how to talk to reading mouth movement is how we learn how to talk to students. It's more than that, actually. I learned. It's really important for teachers to show their mouth when they're teaching. Like that, it sounds weird, but like the shape of how someone speaks is important to just learning in general. I think especially for like younger kids and stuff like that, like education for younger kids. I'm not entirely sure about that, but apparently like it's really important. Yeah, no, that video is amazing. Like, go out and look it up. Like, it is incredible. The guy, he worked in a laser lab. I think he has a degree in chemistry. He's a very smart person, right? And so he decided to use this geniusness in the best way possible, which is by the power of math, creating the most absurd, like, monstrosities of electronic and chemical and laser, like, component construct you can imagine, and it's incredible. The guy's incredible. Yeah, that's one of my favorite. He had to have put it in a like handmade Faraday cage, which if you don't know what a Faraday cage is basically like, have you ever walked into like a big metal building and you can't get cell phone service because like the metal building is blocking the signals from getting to your phone? That's basically what a Faraday cage is. A Faraday cage basically grounds EMF, electromagnetic field radiation, right? So anything like radio waves and stuff like that get grounded and won't like pass into the greater atmosphere, right? And that's really important because when you're putting that much energy out, when you're like using 20,000 watts of energy on anything, you are just pumping radio waves and like pretty much all kind of energy like out into the atmosphere. And that's a really, really good way to get not only the FCC knocking on your door, but all the local ham radio guys as well, because you will just blast their channels with noise pollution, basically. So they're not a fan of that. So he had to hand bead really fine mesh copper in order to like create this cage. And he didn't even build it specifically for this part. He built it for another one where he was hooking up a Soviet era like gigantic tube filter or something like that up to, I think it was like 6,000 volts or something. Is it 6,000 volts? Is that much power? I don't know, like a ton of energy, and creating a plasma flame, creating like a lightning bolt that is like a flame. That thing was awesome. That's another really good video. And yeah, the other thing you have to be careful about doing that, I mean, aside from like everything, you know, not touching the instant death flame made of electricity. The big thing you have to be careful with is that creates so much ozone. Like that starts just ripping molecules apart to such a degree that it'll actually turn the atmosphere in your environment into poison. So, you know, that's cool. Amazing. Sounds like the coolest thing ever. It is the coolest thing ever, especially when he starts using chemical salts in order to change the color of the flame. So he uses like magnesium and freaking copper, nickel, I think, lithium. Lithium was really cool because lithium creates like a really bright red. Was that lithium? There was something he used to make a blue flame, and it came out more of like a lavender color, which was interesting. I can't remember what that was. I don't think it was lithium. I think the lithium was the really brilliant red. Yeah, no, it's stuff like that I look at and I go, like, why isn't this like what magic in video games looks like? I want to shoot, or sounds like, I want to shoot a literal plasma flame, like electrical like conduit. Strontium? It wasn't strontium. Although strontium, what is strontium? What's the composition of strontium? Actually, is strontium even a real thing? I think it is. Chemical elements, SR. Okay, yeah, an alkaline earth metal. Okay, what is its spectrum? It looks okay. So it looks like a really brilliant like orange flame. No, this was like crimson red. This was like lightsaber red, you know? like it was kind of nuts. Strontium would probably be pretty cool though to burn in a plasma flame. I mean, there's a few things that kind of weren't cool to burn in a plasma flame, I'm not gonna lie. The problem was that he was running into was that it was so hot, it was so absurdly hot that it was literally melting every single filament he would put on it, including tungsten, which, keep in mind, I think has a melting, I gotta look it up now, has a melting point of like 3,000 degrees Celsius, I think. Yeah, 3,422 degrees Celsius or 6,192 degrees Fahrenheit. That's really freaking hot. So yeah, like literally everything he was throwing at it was just unbelievably just melting. And not slow either, like pretty much instantly. I think he wound up using carbon at the end of it. I mean, just go out and watch the video. It's freaking awesome. I can turn that off. I'll clarify some of that. All right, that's, wow, is it? Wow, it's already been an hour? Dang. Time sure do be flying when you're having fun. I don't know what I feel like listening. There's so many things I want to listen to, but like, you know, I can't. Part of me wants to take a break from chiptune. And again, I don't really know what else to listen to. I guess it's been a while since we've listened to Hotel Pools. Hotel Pools is good. Yeah. Yeah, I'm in a Hotel Pools kind of mood. That's also actually kind of in a, I'm gonna lower this down a little bit. In a, like a dungeon synth kind of mood. Well, I kind of... So I'm questioning the spacing between this frame in comparison to this frame. It might be alright. It almost looks like it's too much. I don't know. Like, this is too much. Because this isn't very much. Like, if we compare, like, it doesn't even get to, like, the first sleeve. This one, like, it's right on the verge. It's almost just like, maybe it's just a little even. It isn't the best, but not also, it's also not the worst. The worst would be, so what you want to kind of avoid, depending on the situation, but for the most part, if it's smooth motion, if it's smooth action, you want to avoid having a situation where basically, like, let's look at our chart again, which I've explained before. You know, your motion is speeding up, blah, 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 and then it's slowing down, right? So it starts to slow down. And you don't want a situation where you have a gap that's about this big, right? But then all of a sudden, you have a gap that's, you know, this big. You know, it's longer than the other one, right? Because this is where things should be slowing down, right? They shouldn't be getting further apart. And sometimes that can happen, right? If you're not watching your spacing carefully. And I don't know if I was watching my spacing carefully. I might have been. I don't know. We're gonna find out. If it looks funky, then that's that, I guess. There are times when you do want to do that. You know, there's no real universal do's and don'ts within animation. But a circumstance where you would want to kind of like actually do stuff like that is if you're looking for really like violent motion. So think of like a really rackety engine or something like that. That's like, you know, really uneven in its firing and stuff like that. And so like you'll have these jolts to it, right? So it won't be like perfectly smooth. It'll be really jagged in its movement. Sometimes in movement, if it's like someone's kind of like stretching or something like that, like you'll have these like uneven bursts of movement and whatnot. If someone's like trembling, it's another good example of a time when being really smooth with your spacing makes no sense. Funny enough, though, like all of those circumstances, it's really difficult to get that right. It's difficult to get a tremble right. It's difficult to get a quiver right. It's even difficult to get like a jolty engine right, because it can still look bad if you don't nail the proper spacing. Even though you're being very like liberal with your spacing, if you do it like, it still has to be believable. It's still really easy to like do it in a way that just looks like a bunch of drawings like poorly planned out, you know what I mean? I forgot to... To be honest, I'm kind of annoyed with the cuffs. I don't know, maybe I'll take away the cuffs one of these days. They're just they're just really awkward. But I'll keep them for now. Actually, I want to thumb up. Part of me wants to have the hand. Yeah, actually, I want to have the hand more like out. Because then it gets that nice subtle rotation. There we go. So a little bit of a curve there. I'm actually going to put another frame here. I'm actually gonna like see about except for I'm gonna actually do this first. What is frame 26 anyway? And 27. Must be further back. Anyway. That, and we're gonna move you down just ever so slightly. Not even that much. Barely any. And we're gonna maybe even a little more something than that. I'm actually going to have his teeth completely hidden. And we're going to move the mouth up a touch. Oh, there-ish. Yeah. And actually, I just thought realistically, I can delete this and do that, and then move this even more. And then going to be more relevant here, so I turn that back on. Actually going to move down a touch. There we go. Kind of a lumpy circle there. Hold on. Probably don't have to worry too much about it, but that could be a bit better. Better. Oh, I forgot to do his eye bags starting like way over here. Well, maybe, you know, closed eyes will do like kind of, well, we won't worry about the eye bags. He kind of got a goofy face about him. I almost want to just do one tooth. Maybe after this, he just has one tooth sticking out. I don't know if I'll be able to get around to the hair and stuff like that today. I really shouldn't be sitting as long as I have been. So might have to call it earlier than I would like. But that's how it goes right now. I gotta be conscious of how long I sit. Eventually I'll be a bit better and I'll be able to sit for a bit longer. Honestly, it might be a good idea after this frame to just get some water as well. It's always a good idea to do that, so I probably will. I want to check. Okay. So. All right. Oh, let me do this real quick. Yeah, I really should do more lip syncing, like actual lip syncing, because I don't do enough. It's really good practice. Most of what I do is pantomime. Most of what I do is vocalist, which is kind of funny to me. What I really enjoy, but it's really good to do lip syncing. Big part of acting. All right, let me grab some water real quick. All right. Let's see if we can finish up. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4 more frames to do. Might be able to do it. Oh, I forgot to do the one thing. This isn't as round as it should be. What's up, Skyblue? Thank you for saying hi. I really do appreciate it. Well, and then this this frame and this frame are pretty much the same thing. Actually, like all three of these frames, the body is all the same, so that'll be good. Come on. This thing does not move as fast as I want it to. YouTube. Of course I want to keep listening. Actually, I actually really like him with his eyebrows up. It looks really funny. Kind of has a Wind Waker-esque vibe to him, which I like. Tempted to just do the body first and then do the arms after on this one. I might do that. Because if I do that, then I just have to do the arms. Of course, okay. There we go. Okay, this frame has to be like really polished and look good, because this is going to be one of the last frames you see. I want to make sure I get the tooth right. I want to make sure I get the nose right. I want to make sure I get the eyes right. Just everything, basically. All of them, I think, look pretty good. Eyebrows look pretty good. Now, what I should be able to do is mark this down and actually, you know what? Let's try something. I'm gonna try changing the pivot point, putting it over here, and just kind of. Actually, it goes up. Part of me, yeah, I'm gonna have it so that the arm goes down. So that means the hand goes like this. That's a giant freaking hand. Okay, hold on. It ain't that big. His hands are not that big. Dang. Okay, hold on. Hold up. Yo, I'm kind of in a zone right now, man. I'm like in the zone. Which zone? The moon zone. Just like got a good flow going here. Hold on. That zone, yeah. Zone that makes me wish I could animate for even longer, because boy hey howdy, I'm having such a good time. You know, I might just copy and paste this frame and then adjust things. Yeah. Let's do that. So first things first, I'll move that up. Move this down. And then move this a touch forward. Like so. Maybe not that far forward. Not that far forward. Like that. I am actually really happy with this, I think. Let's watch it here. Let's see how happy I am with it. Okay, so we can turn off the rough. And we can even, where's the box? The box is technically still a rough as well, but it'll be easy enough to correct, so. one thing I want to do, so he kind of just sort of stops here. I want to actually like, the heck, come on. Why can't I? Why? Oh, near the rough. Whoops. Okay, there we go. I want to move you a little bit more. Oops. Hold on. That. Hold on. Oops. But then I want to like correct this arm because it's not moving correctly. Like that. 3, so copy and paste that. Open copy. And like move barely. That'll probably help a little bit. It just was kind of stopping, a little awkward. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Okay, so that's better. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Let's bring it back. Let's watch the whole thing again. Then we're gonna get to have fun with physics and his ears, his big floppy ears. Yay! All right. The box pops up. I think the lip flaps were. Yeah. So when Graham is done, like done, I'll get to do the final little movement on Wicker, which will be fun. That'll take a little while because it is a little bit of a complex motion, but it's not as much movement as even this part with Graham. But with all that being said, we're gonna call it there. It is 9 o'clock. So yeah, we got it done. And it only took... We're working on this for 63 hours. It's probably 10 hours. Like I said, about 10 hours. Yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. I'm pretty happy with the fact that I got that much done in 10 hours. It means that I can animate these guys a lot faster than I was. And I'm gonna have to, because like, holy crap. Some of the stuff I have in mind is gonna be really long-winded. But yeah, that's how it goes. Anyway, we're getting closer. We're getting closer every day to getting this done. So looking forward to that day. With all that being said, I will be back on Monday. I'll be streaming again on Monday. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna stream a little earlier, hopefully. Yeah, so hope to see you there. Thank you everyone for stopping by. I really do appreciate that every time. And yeah, I'll be back on Monday, probably streaming around, I don't know, 3 o'clock or so PST, 4 o'clock, maybe more like 4 o'clock. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, hope to see you there. Goodbye.